Alrighty. Think we're up and running. There we go. I'm a little late. Perfect. Got chat up and running. Netflix is open. YouTube looks good. We'll just do a quick check on the old sound there. There we go. Doing a little picture in picture here. Nice. Oh, it's Monday, y'all. Still healing a little bit from the car accident. I think I said it last week too. Like, sitting is not fun. But I hope that you guys are doing good. I'm gonna change this. Got a little echo going on. Boom. We'll turn this back over there. Like, yeah. All right. I'm gonna figure out a day and a time that works for all of us. I know this isn't probably working just yet, but we'll find it. We'll find it for sure. All right. Well, this is our watch and talk episode trace. We are getting into Avatar. We're talking about the world and we're using it as a tool to start conversation and questions. We want to kind of look at our faith through the lens of this show. Now, Avatar isn't inherently a Christian show, but is a deeply philosophical show that incorporates some Christian motifs and some Eastern Orthodox motifs, and lots of conversations about morality, spirituality, culture, how we're supposed to act with resources and direction. There's all kinds of subject matter in this show, and that's kind of why we're using it as our jumping off point for conversation. I hope that you're enjoying the show, that maybe you have a favorite character so far. I know you guys already know my favorite character is Uncle Iroh, but a lot of people have different favorite characters, different favorite episodes, all kinds of fun stuff. But it is an incredible show. The further we get into it, the more I think you'll enjoy it. So yeah, here we are in episode 3. I think they're going to do a recap, but let's do our own little recap. We've got Aang. He is an airbender. He kind of cocooned himself in an iceberg, and we've now figured out that more than likely he's been in that iceberg for like 100 years. So he looks pretty good for a 112-year-old man, 113-year-old man, however old Aang is. And then we also got introduced to Katara. She's the last waterbender in the Southern Water Tribe. And we got to see a little bit of waterbending of hers last episode. She helped Aang escape and also froze Sokka accidentally. So she's very, very green, very much a rookie. And then that leads us to Sokka, her older brother. I think Katara is supposed to be like 13, 14, and Sokka is like 15, 16, maybe, or somewhere right around there. They're not all too far apart in age. It's like a yearish apart. But Sokka is just an average dude, no powers. He's kind of he knows magic exists, but he's not necessarily one to believe in it first. So we saw that with how he didn't believe Appa could fly, even though his sister is able to magically manipulate water. So he's got this kind of block. He's a very rational person, even if that rationality doesn't make sense to anybody else. It's kind of how he lives his life. I really like Sokka. He also tries to be funny, but he's cheesy. He's cheesy. But yeah, so now they are on their adventure. They're running from Zuko. He is our enemy and the nephew of Uncle Iroh. We've learned that he's been charged to find the Avatar, whom he believed was like 100-year-old man, and was very surprised to find out that he was a 12-year-old kid. And he needs to find the Avatar to regain his honor. We don't know yet why he's lost his honor, but this is very, very important to him. So our gang, our friends are running from Zuko. They're running from people that are trying to capture them. And the very first place that Aang wants to go to is visit the Southern Water Temple. Or I'm sorry, the Southern Air Temple. The Water Temple is definitely from Zelda. My apologies. But Aang needs to know. Multiple people have told him now that no one has seen an airbender in 100 years. And something bad happened to him. But Aang doesn't believe them. And maybe if you experienced that type of thing in your life, I've had a few people now pass away, and my initial reaction is that didn't happen. And I have to be told again that the unbelievable thing did happen. And that happens. We want we we often so badly want good things for people that hurt, pain, suffering. It's hard for us to rationalize. And so the episode that we're about to watch is a very deep episode. And Aang is going to have to face what happened to his nation, to his people. Yeah, we're going deep real quick in the series. So yeah, let's get it started. I'm gonna count you down. Hopefully you've got your Netflix pulled up. Maybe a thing to write notes down or capture a question. You can also type it in chat. The Discord is also open, so if you had a live, question you wanted to ask, you could go ahead and ask it there. But yeah, let's get it going. I'm gonna move this mic here. All right. If you've got your remote in hand, or maybe you're looking at a tablet, I'm going to count you down and you can just click on a button. All right, starting from 3, 2, 1, play. Nickelodeon. Oh, that works. Never skip the intro. It's like it's bad luck to skip the intro. You can't see, but I have like pillows propping me up. I feel ancient. I feel 112. I love Graham Graham. We found him. Remember they had that big fight on top of the ship at the end there? So Zuko's a little behind. They're having to dig out their ship. And our friends have a flying bison, so they get to cruise the open airs pretty easily. You can tell he's still a little immature. It's my favorite. I'm sure you guys can relate. Sleep, food. Sokka's a good guy. We do that, right? When we care about people, try to protect them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's true. I do love this show is 2D. It's hand drawn, old school animation, but there was a little bit of 3D right there. I know Uncle Iroh seems a little not with it, but that's kind of his MO. See? What was that? Sorry, Sokka. No meat for you. Now we know. Zuko's such a good character. Oh no. We've seen this before. Last episode, he glowed. They're not messing around. He's got him in the ropes. Mm. Little sneak peek. Delicious. You got a little sneak on how fast. Get to see how fast and how strong, just a little bit, that Uncle Iroh is. It's possible. Yep. He's saying goodbye to his home where he grew up. Boom, chicka pow pow, chicka pow pow, chicka pow pow, pow 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 pow. All right, we're gonna hit pause. We'll just close it out. There we go. Hi, boy. Oh, that episode is it, it's a good jumping off point. I think it shows the show's got teeth, right? Meaning it's like it's not just like a kiddie show. where it's fun all the time. It's like monkey Yatsu. Just that imagery can be very powerful. But to find out that the person that raised Aang, cared for him, loved him, had passed away so tragically really starts to put that like heaviness into the show. But yeah, I'm not sure if you've had to deal with loss before. Hopefully not. I really wish that none of you would have to have dealt with loss at such a an early point and a young point in your lives. But it is inevitably a thing that we will all deal with. It's part of the human condition. Some of it is expected, like the woman who raised me, my grandmother, she passed away from cancer, but she had cancer for a long time, and we knew things were coming. It doesn't necessarily make things easier, but it does help contextualize. It kind of helps us understand what's happening. And so when she passed away, I understood why. Versus like a friend of mine, when I started doing youth ministry years and years ago, he was, oh, he was just a little boy. He was like 9, 10. But he passed away last year. He was 25. And it just happened randomly. There's no explanation. It just happened. And it's harder to deal with that kind of stuff. Um, but it doesn't matter if you understand it or not. Loss is loss, and it hurts. There's a deep trauma there. And you could see that in Aang. The second he was able to understand what happened to his people, and specifically Monkey Yatsu, his emotions turned on, his glowing nature, we don't really have a name for that just yet, turned on, and he could have become a destructive force. Sokka said the same thing, right? Like, we got to calm him down before he blows us off the mountain. He could have hurt, the people that he considers a family now, Sokka and Katara. And we do that kind of stuff, right? We we hurt, and then we can bring it out, express ourselves in ways that hurt the people around us that love us the most. Yeah. So yeah, I'm curious what your questions are. I hope that you're enjoying the series. I really hope that you guys start to dig into it. You can see where maybe our questions of faith will come in. There's a lot of conversations about honor and shame and family. There's this kind of uh, I don't want to say connection just yet, but there are the inklings, the beginnings you can see of trauma, 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 right? So we learn that Aang has trauma in his life because he's lost his nation, and he's struggling to deal with the fact that he's the Avatar. He's responsible for something. And we can see that there's trauma in Katara's life. She lost her mom when she was really young. And we've heard Katara talk about this, I think, 2 or 3 times now, but we haven't heard Sokka mention it at all. And it's his mom, too. We also know that they're growing up without their dad. He's off fighting in the war. And so we can see a lot has been asked of Sokka. He's the oldest male in the tribe. He's supposed to be taking care of his sister and his grandmother and everybody else in the tribe. And so you see that when he's trying to train up the younger generation, build a watchtower, care for people, that kind of stuff. And now here he is on this journey, watching over his sister, watching over Aang, and who knows what's going to happen to him. But he doesn't necessarily express his feelings other than hunger and sleep. But I imagine a lot of you feel the same way. Just a ravenous hunger and an insatiable need for sleep. Yeah, it's part of being a teenager, right? And then we also have Zuko, and we learn more about his story today, about his trauma. His trauma is manifesting in many different ways on this character, right? So his face has a very large scar. We haven't learned how he got that yet, but we know it's related to something that happened to him that pushed him out of his nation, that banished him. That's what we learned today. And it has something to do with his father. And so he's got trauma in all of that. And where we see Aang, he was expressing his anger um, and his trauma through that kind of avatar glowy thing that could have been very dangerous. We see kind of a thread line where Zuko is also expressing his trauma, and it's being expressed how? You know, through anger. You can see he's bitter, that there's this defining need to find his honor at all costs. It's driving him. And so keep paying attention to those things. Keep paying attention to kind of the story that's happening. And then have those questions, right? Think about what that means for us as Christians. How would we act in those spots? What would God call us to do? How do we deal with our trauma, our fear? How do we deal with when God puts big things on our shoulders and cause us to, to serve others in a way that maybe we're not ready for? Or how do we deal with looking for help and guidance? We've got Uncle Iroh, right, is there for Zuko, and now we're learning that Aang is looking for somebody that's going to help him grow as the Avatar. And he just named the Avatar before him, who seems to have some kind of connection. He's the only Avatar that we've heard of other than Aang, but that's Avatar Roku. So there are all these questions that are bubbling. I would love for you guys to type them or email them. We could talk about in youth group. Maybe we can have them here in the future. You can join on Discord and chat away with me. I'm trying not to be too chatty because it's just me right now. But in the future, we can chat through while we're watching things. But the show has a lot to offer. And more than anything, I want to be a youth group and a community of people that have the freedom to ask questions, to not fear our faith. I think a lot of people do that. We want to be people that have a relationship with our faith that is healthy, that it's okay to ask questions, that it's okay to explore areas in our faith. It's okay to wander through the messiness of all of it. And let's let this show be our excuse to wander, to explore. And I'll be here to help guide and care and work through as best I can. In the future, when things kind of get going, I'm really happy to invite some of my friends along. I've got brilliant friends here in the city, but I've got friends everywhere. A lot in Canada, some over in New Zealand, some in the UK. It would be great to invite some of their brilliant minds who I went to Bible college with and studied with, that we've served with and done ministry with, to provide you guys with some more insight about our faith and to help answer questions. And the majority of them are fans of the show, so it's kind of fun that they get to share things that they maybe enjoy as well. Anywho's. Hey, I love your faces. I hope you guys are doing really well. This is an experiment. We're doing something that probably no other youth group is doing. You all deserve the best. I don't want to continue to dish up the same thing all the time. As we continue to define who we are in our youth group and our community, as we define what that looks like in action and conversation and language, how we treat one another, we are also at the same time redefining what it means to be a youth group. And so in the year 2023, I think we have every opportunity, but also every necessary opportunity to explore what that looks like. We don't have to do the same thing. We don't have to be like everybody else. Our faith is unique, so our youth group should be unique. And you guys are included in that conversation. How you feel, how you think, what you desire, what you're interested in doing or talking about, exploring, and then expressing our faith. How do we learn about it? We can all sit down and read the Bible together in a circle, and that's awesome, sure. But you know what? You guys are creative. You're amazing people. Why don't we figure out new ways to do it? So maybe we watch a little bit of Avatar. Maybe we go to somewhere. Maybe we do some kind of interpretive dance, or who knows, or art, or something different. uh, I feel like God is working through all of us in different ways, and I would love to help you figure out how to express your faith in the unique way that God created you. And then, of course, there are times where we join together and we do typical things, like on a Sunday morning. Those things are good too. So, anyway, I love your faces. I hope you guys are doing really well. We'll catch you guys episode 4 next week. And we'll try to get a time and a date together. It doesn't have to be Mondays at 7. It can be any day, except for Wednesdays, I guess, because we're in youth group. But we'll figure it out. Yeah. I'll catch you guys soon, and we'll do this again. Thanks.